The air inside the aircraft hummed softly as Adriela leaned her head against the window. The clouds drifted lazily below them, and for the first time in years, her heart felt still. Beside her, Tunde smiled, the warm kind that always steadied her. You okay? He asked. She nodded. I just can't believe how far we've come. Tunde chuckled quietly. Grace brought us here. Don't forget that. They were both heading abroad for studies, a dream that once seemed impossible. Adiola's scars no longer defined her. They had become the marks of a woman reborn through faith. Sunday, patient and grounded, had become her anchor. At first, Adela found life overseas exciting. The classes, the independence, the attention. It was all new. But soon the pressure to keep up with her peers took its toll. Her grades began to slip, and her once vibrant faith started to dim. Tunde noticed. Instead of scolding her, he met her one evening at the park, where the autumn leaves rustled beneath their feet. You're not alone in this, he said gently. Remember what we've learned. Your strength comes from God, not your own efforts. They prayed together under the fading sunset. It wasn't an elaborate prayer, just a quiet, sincere conversation with their father. That night marked the turning point. Ajala returned to her studies with focus on humility, and peace slowly returned to her heart. In Nigeria, things weren't so calm. Mr. Dewali's business had begun to crumble under the weight of bad investments. Desperate to recover, he turned to gambling. His wife watched helplessly as her once gentle husband became hardened by frustration. She tried to talk to him, but each attempt ended in shouting. Soon, she withdrew completely. The night before everything changed, Tunde's parents had a terrible argument. Loud voices, harsh words, and a silence that hung in the air afterward like smoke. Their marriage was hanging by a thread, and neither knew how to reach the other anymore. Meanwhile, Adiola had been trying to reach Mama Bimbo for days, but every call failed to connect. Worried, she decided to call Mama Tunde instead. Mama, good evening, she said softly. Please, have you heard from Mama Bimbo? I've been trying to call her since Monday. Mama Tunde sighed. My dear, no, I haven't. Maybe she's struggling with that new phone. I'll reach out to one of her neighbors in the quarters to check on her. True to her word, Mama Tunde asked around. Finally, a few hours later, Adela's phone rang. It was a WhatsApp call from Mama Bimbo. They chatted joyfully, but Adela couldn't shake off something she noticed in Mama Tunde's tone earlier. It was heavy, unlike her usual cheerful self. After the call, Adela gently asked Mama Bimbo, please, if you can, check on Mama Tunde. She doesn't sound like herself. I will, Mama Bimbo promised. The next morning, Mama Bimbo harvested some fresh vegetables from her small farm, ripe tomatoes, garden eggs, and okra, and packed them neatly in a basket. When she arrived at Mama Tunde's house, she found her by the car, luggage in hand, instructing the driver to start the engine. Mama Tunde, she called out, smiling. Startled, Mama Tunde turned. Ah, Mama Bimbo, you came. Oh, thank you, she said, motioning for the house help to collect the produce. How thoughtful of you. Mama Bimbo chuckled and said warmly, you know, these vegetables grow because we plant them, but it's God who makes them grow. We should be grateful to Him. Mama Tunde smiled faintly. You know I'm not really religious, so I don't know about that. She turned towards her bag. Anyway, I'm traveling. Traveling? Mama Bimbo asked gently. You look sad. My sister. Are you sure you're okay? I'm fine, she lied, forcing a smile. But Mama Bimbo saw through it. Sure, she said softly. Mama Tunde hesitated, then looked into her eyes. Can I ask you something? Can I trust you? My marriage to Adiwale. He's being hanging on only because of Tunde. But Tunde is grown now, and I think he can handle the separation. These birds are mine. I'm leaving. Mabimbo took a deep breath and said calmly, I don't know what caused this decision, but one thing I know is that the originator of marriage didn't start it for it to end in separation. She reached out for her Bible and read loud. What God has yoked together, let no man put apart. Looking into her friend's eyes, she asked, if God started marriage and you're struggling in yours, shouldn't he be the one you talk to first? Mama Tunde was quiet for a moment. But tell me, this issue didn't start today. You think there's still hope? Why not? Mabi was mad. Start with the first step. Talk to God before you talk to anyone else. But how? Mama Tunde whispered. Through prayer. Moabimbo replied. You don't need to memorize anything. Just say what's on your mind, honestly, and see what happens. Mama Bimbo added, by the way, I'll ask your help to take these bags inside. They both laughed together. From that day, something shifted. Mama Tunde began visiting Mama Bimbo often. She listened as her friend shared scriptures and gentle truths about faith, forgiveness, and love. Slowly, she started attending church. Then one Sunday, she gave her life to Christ. At home, Adewale, Tunde's father, began to notice the change. She no longer snapped at him. Her words were calm, her spirit peaceful. One evening he said, what's happening to you? You've changed. You won't talk like Tunde now. You're calm, peaceful. Mama Tunde chuckled softly. It's Christ in me that gives me peace. Adewale nodded thoughtfully. For this religion, first it changed Tunde. Now you. I think I want to join both of you. She smiled. You will make me so happy. That night, they talked long into the early hours about life, love, and even business. She showed him Bible verses about greed and warned him against gambling. He listened quietly, something he hadn't done in years. The walls between them began to fall. Meanwhile, in school, Adiola finally got her grades back with Tunde's help. Their friendship deepened, filled with laughter, prayer meetings, and long study sessions. They started attending Christian concerts together, and soon, friendship bloomed into love. Tunde knew his feelings were real, but chose to wait until graduation. Then one Sunday, back home, Mama Tunde and Adewale returned from church and called Tunde with joy. Adewale announced, Son, I've given my life to Christ. Tunde's eyes brightened. I'm so happy, Dad. Mama Bimbo was there too, visiting when Tunde decided it was time. He told them about his relationship with Adiola. The room filled with smiles, laughter, and blessings. A few months later, after graduation, Tunde proposed and Adiola said yes. They returned to Nigeria for a beautiful, simple wedding surrounded by close family and friends. Joy overflowed that day, not just because two hearts were joined, but because both families were now united in love and in Christ. Soon after, Tunde and Adiola moved abroad for new job offers, but they carried with them a testimony of redemption, peace, and purpose. Their story wasn't just about love found. It was about love restored through the power of God who heals hearts and builds families.